everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Sarah Stitch. My name is Sarah and I will be your host here today, and hopefully for the next 25 to 31 days, see how we go for Vlogmas. So if you are new here, my name is Sarah. I am a knitter. I'm 30 years old and I live in Hoboken, New Jersey, which is just across the river from New York, where I work as an accountant. So when I'm not working, which is right now not too bad, usually 9 to 5, I am usually at home knitting. So I do have a little bit, I do try and go on my walks in the morning and have a few events as it's the holiday season coming up, but that is my standard day-to-day life. And I will be going away for Christmas again this year, as I mentioned in my last podcast. So I will be heading over to London and France. So that is what is to come over the next couple weeks here on the channel for Vlogmas. If you're new to Vlogmas, I know this is probably coming up late because it's currently December 1st at 9 p.m. So this probably won't be posted until in the morning, December 2nd, like sometime in the morning, which is nice for me because no spoilers for anything. Perfect. But I will be taking you along with me, probably not to work because, again, accountant, it's not very exciting, but I will be taking you along with me on my day-to-day activities, what I get up to, what I'm knitting on, anything like that. So let's get started with, we'll go through my advents I have this year and then a couple project updates, which there's more than expected / new things since the podcast I filmed 5 days ago. So we will get started with my advents that I have. So I have two 24-day advents this year and a cozy knitter advent. So the cozy knitter advent is a 24 stripe sock set. Well, sock. I didn't get the set portion this year, but I got 100 grams of wool dyed with 24 individual stripes, split in half. So that is my first project. I have started it. I will show it to you after I get through all of the other advents. So that's my first advent. That one I've had for the last couple years. It's pretty easy to keep up with. I know I can get it done in a particular amount of time. It doesn't take up too much time. I usually make myself a pair and my mom a pair for Christmas. So I will be knitting those this year for Vlogmas daily, hopefully. And then I have two 24 mini skein advents. So I have the Woolberry Fiber Company one, which was based off of Christmas market, I think, European Christmas market. And I have the Homespun House 24 mini skein advent, and it has a full sock set for Christmas Day knit. So I will show you them in a second, but I will preface it with, I have opened a good chunk of both of these advents already because, as I mentioned, I am traveling. I leave for London on the 10th. So I've started my advent opening as if it were the 10th were Christmas Eve, just so that I get the joy of opening them all, and I don't have to travel with 14 to 15 mini skeins per advent to open while I'm in Europe. And also, so I get the serotonin boost of opening them and not having to wait until after the Christmas season, and then I get back and then it's January and I'm just opening them. So I will show you them while I'm here on the correct day they should have been opened, but I'm currently on day 15. So take this with a grain of salt, but I will show you everything. Like I said, it is a bit later because I dropped Shiv off at the airport this evening. He flew back to London from coming over to visit for Thanksgiving. So there was not much to film today because we had kind of just a chill day of we took a walk, we hung out, we worked for a little bit, and then went to the airport where there was a ton of traffic, and now I'm back here. So I'm going to go through like I said, updates and the skeins from today, and then also a couple of my plans I have for makes this December. So, and I'm not realizing I forgot to get something, so I will get that at the end. So without further ado, let's start with the 24 skein advent. So this is my homespun house advent for today, and it is classic Molly Gorgeous speckled. And the advent this year, I don't know if it said it when I bought it, that it may have. I didn't read the description. I just went, oh, Molly still has advents in stock, bye. But they are holiday movie themed. So today's is themed Little Women, and this is on Molly's soft sock base. So stunning. I need to figure out what I'm making with this advent. I think I'm going to let Molly tell me what I'm making with this advent and make whatever she makes this year as what I'm making this year. And if I need to get a couple extra skeins of just a plain yarn, if she's making a blanket or anything like that, that's probably what I will do, because I do love my homespun house blankets, and these minis are just for blanket knitting. So homespun house advent, and then my woolberry advent. It's blending in with my white Christmas sweatshirt. So Bethany's was, like I said, like a European market, something along that line theme. So the first day, the colorway is called Christmas Market, and it's a really pretty cranberry red shade with a little bit of like gentle speckling in it. So that is how it's looking, and it's stunning. I will say it's probably getting a little bit blown out here because, again, I do have a ring light on because it's 9 p.m. I would say in real life it's maybe a bit more like Merlot winey, like somewhere in between this shade and this shade. But it is gorgeous. It's pretty. It's gonna be such a nice thing. I need to figure out what I'm making with Bethany's advent as well. I'm leaning towards a spot sweater by Ann Vinsel or the Kintra by Craya Bea. I just have to figure out what I want to do, either for a main color for the Kintra or how I want to add in the stripes for the spot sweater by Ann Vinsel, because I do have a ton of Bethany's yarn from the collective from the last probably 2 years that I could use as stripes to coordinate and match this, and I think it'd be nice to have a sweater fully made out of Bethany's yarn. But I don't have a full sweater quantity in any color of majority of the collective colorways. I think I have a couple like sweater quantities here and there, but nothing in fingering weight. And I don't know if the colors I have in DK I want to make a sweater out of, because I really only have greens from top of my head in a sweater quantity from Bethany. So just based on this alone, like this red and having a green main color for the Kintra, I feel like it's going to scream Christmas, and I don't know if I want another sweater this year which screams Christmas, because I made my reindeer sweater last year. So I have to think about it. I need to figure out what I want to do. Hopefully some people post what they're doing with theirs, but I am thinking a sweater for this because I do love Bethany's yarn. So any suggestions, please throw them my way. All right, next let's go through my cozy knitter. So I only have one cuff done and one stripe of the cuff done, or one stripe of the first sock done, because I can't find any of my 2mm needles, which means I definitely have too many socks going right now. But what did I do instead? A lot more 2mm needles. So what I will be doing for, I think these are going to be my socks this year, are I did a dark blue cuff for the top of the sock. It is 1x1 rib, 24 rounds, and this is just Swanky Sock by Magpie in the color Midnight Train to Georgia, which is the same contrast color I'm using on my dad's Rye Light socks if you watched the podcast episode the other day. And I'm just doing a 2x2 rib. I don't know if you'll be able to see it right now just because it's obviously not very big, but a 2x2 rib for the leg of the sock, and I'm going to do a knit round for the first round of every color change, just so that the purl bumps don't mix up, and probably heel flap and gusset like I've done for majority of my Cozy Knitter Advent socks. I am tempted to do the DRK everyday socks for my mom's pair this year, just so I get the toe up experience, and we shall see. I don't know if I love that plan, but I think I like that plan for my mom, because I've never made a DRK everyday sock. I don't think I've ever successfully completed a toe up sock, so I think that would be a nice experience for me. And if I hate it that much, like, my mom just might not get socks this year, or I can give her these ones and I can take the DRK ones. So I think I'm going to use the Midnight Train to Georgia for both of our contrasts, just so it's a little bit easier for me to carry around when we're traveling. But I need to at least do the other cuff for my sock, or whatever, the other top down cuff, and then I may do the toe this evening as well for one of my mom's sets. I do have a couple extra skeins of, not skeins, but halves of Cozy Knitter Advents from prior years, which my mom has. She's technically a year behind on my Cozy Knitters, because the first year I didn't know she would want one. She said she liked it, so I've done it every year since, so I'm like a year behind on hers. But I kind of want to do both of our socks this year at the same time. So she will get a 24 stripe sock. It may not be this specific one, but I think it probably will be. So I'm sorry if you can hear my neighbors stomping around upstairs. Apartment living. All right, so the finished object I have, which I don't believe, I know for a fact I did not have, I just ripped out stitches on something else. The finished object that I have, which I did not have last week, is a scarf. So I knit the Stay Toasty scarf by Veronica Lindbergh. It is just a Sophie-esque scarf pattern, skinny scarf. I don't know if the texture will show up, but it is like a rib with a garter pattern in it, and I knit it out of Berry Fiber Company in the Berry DK base, and the colorway is Christmas Cocoa, which I got from Bethany a couple years ago. When she had like a, what did she have? I haven't tried this on, so I don't know how to wear it yet. She had like a limited edition Christmas colors drop a couple years ago, like around this time, maybe in November sometime, and I got I got a couple skeins of Bethany's pinks that are all pretty similar to this. So I figured I should start using them. So this is what it looks like tied. And I think it's just so cute and like a good size. It's not too big. I followed the pattern instructions exactly in terms of, that's a lie. I didn't follow the pattern exactly. I followed the stitch pattern exactly. I did make some modifications, mostly because I wanted to use up the entirety of the skein as much as I could. So I did the increases all as to pattern, and then I increased to 45 stitches at the widest part of the neck, and I knit straight without increasing or decreasing for a couple rounds. I don't know if you'll be able to see on camera, but there is like kind of a flat part here. I just knit straight for a couple rounds to get down to about 53 grams left of my ball of DK, and then I started doing the decreases so that I could use up pretty much all of this beautiful yarn. and it worked out well. I think I only had 3 or so grams left when I finished up the scarf. It only took me a couple days, and I was not knitting a ton. I cast it on Thanksgiving night and finished it last night. So it took, call it Friday, Saturday, 3 days, and 2 of the days I didn't really knit on it at all. So it was very quick. I knit it on 3mm needles rather than 3.5, which is what the pattern calls for, because I only had 3s with me. And originally I had 3s with me because I was originally going to knit socks with this. And then I felt like casting on a scarf, so I used the 3s that I had with me, and it wasn't exactly to pattern, but I'm happy with how it came out. I think it'll do the trick just fine, and I think it was a good use of this yarn. I think the speckles show up really nicely in this, and they're pretty evenly dispersed too, which is nice that there's no like true color pooling. I don't know if it looks like there is on camera, but I think it did like there was a pretty decent non-pooling action from it. So I'm happy with that. I probably will be making more if I had to guess. So that is this. That's my only finished object / thing I've been working on the last few days. I was just fixing the stitches that got ripped off of this, which is a tiny little baby coaster that Shiv asked me to help him make. He decided he wanted to learn how to knit Thanksgiving weekend, so this is as far as we got on his little coaster. I don't even know what yarn this is or where it's from, but I just grabbed a spare ball of yarn I had at my parents' house and said, okay, we'll hold this double with 3mm and see what happens. But he didn't want to bring it with him back to London because he doesn't feel confident in being able to fix any of his mistakes if he were to make them. So he said, just bind it off. Well, he said, finish it, like end it. He's like, just end it. I was like, you don't know what it's called. That's fine. So he said he wanted to end it, and that he's going to make me a coaster for Christmas, which I asked for last year. So this was his first attempt at it, and we'll pick it back up again in a couple weeks when I see him in London at the flat. But I'm just adding a border to it in blue to make it, to make it just a little bit neater on the edges, which I do love. They're so cute. He tried his best, and he did do a very good job. He said he learned how to knit when he was in high school. He was in I forget what it's called, like Duke of Edinburgh or something like that, kind of like National Honor Society if you're an American. So he had to do some volunteer work, and his volunteer work was going to nursing homes or care homes, and the old ladies all taught him how to knit, but he hadn't done it in a very long time, probably 15 years. So I was his old lady for the day, or the weekend, and teaching him how to knit, and this is as far as we got, which I'm very proud of him for. So I'm going to bind this off, and then it's going to be my coaster at my desk. So when I'm obviously not with him and I'm here, it'll remind me of him. But I just accidentally ripped the stitches off that I was binding off, so that's for in a little bit. And then the last couple things I'm going to try and work on while we're going through Vlogmas is I'd like to start clearing some needles, as seen by the fact I have no 2mm out and about. So start clearing off some needles, finishing some projects, but also I'm going to be casting on new projects, because what kind of responsible podcaster would I be if I was just finishing projects? So the first project I'd like to do, which will probably be a Christmas gift for Shiv, is I have this Woolberry yarn from last year. I got 2 Naughty or Nice mystery sock sets. One was Naughty, which is this one, and then this one was the Nice set. And I had Shiv pick out which one he wanted. He didn't know what he was picking out. He just picked out a package, and I said, which one do you want, the one on the left or the one on the right? And he went, I don't know which side he said, but he said that one. So he got the Naughty sock set. which is called You're a Mean One. It is a Kelly, yeah, I'd say a pretty Kelly lemony green with red speckles in it and some dark green speckles, and then it has like a icy blue mini that goes with it. This is really blown out. I'm very sorry. I'll try and show you again tomorrow. Well, you'll see it. So that's what this one is. And then I got the You're on the Nice List, which is just a very classic, in my mind, Bethany peachy cream with some really pretty, I don't know if they'll come up, like blue speckles, and there's some hot pink speckles down there, green. So I think that this is just a classic Bethany skein, and it has this really nice red mini with it. So again, this like a sock set like this is like, well, why would I not want to, oh, where'd it go? Like these, this is my Advent, like these go so well together. Like I have so many skeins like this from Bethany that I'm like, I could just make everything into a sweater and stash bust while I'm at it. So I'm not sure what I'm doing with mine. I may make a matching item to what I make for Shiv, which will be the, what are they called? I'm just looking at my laptop. Sorry for yawning. Okay, they're called the Heli Mitts. Let's see if this will show up. That's what they look like. That's what he requested, was mittens. So that's what I will be making him. And I will use the green as the main color for the palm cuff area, and hope that there's enough of this blue for the color work portion. I'm sure that there will be. It's just a mitten. I think 20 grams will be more than enough for the color work portion. If not, I can always rip it out and kind of cut out a couple of the lines of the motif. But this is what I will be making for him. I'd like to finish it before I go over there to see him and have them all blocked and everything, so that that's a nice little Christmas gift for him, because I don't think his sweater will be done anytime soon. So this will be a nice consolation prize, hopefully, that you don't have a sweater yet, but you do have mittens. So that is my plan for this. And then let me go grab the purchases I made over Black Friday and show you what I'm thinking about making with those. Just one second. All right, so I went to Mother Knitter on Friday with Shiv. It was his first experience at a yarn shop, and he did a great job. So I picked out some yarn to make hopefully a Celeste sweater out of. I made one for my mom two years ago or a year ago, and I made it for her when it first came out, and I had wanted to make myself one. I never got around to it. I'm glad I had not gotten around to it, because I think I'm happy with the color palette I picked. So I don't think this palette would have been something I had picked a couple years ago. So I'm happy with it. If anyone has any color change suggestions, feel free to let me know. I'm not married to this idea. This is what was speaking to me at Mother Knitter. So I got color 5591 Night Sky and pure. This is all pure Kent, by the way. So 5591 Night Sky for the main color. So I believe the Celeste, the collar, and then, the collar and the bottom portion of the body are in the main color. From memory, I don't think there's any in the yoke. That is the main color. So main color. And then these are my 4 contrast colors, and hopefully you can see a difference. I think you can, with the lighting. So I have, these 4 colors, which I think will look really nice. Like, I wanted something with like a bit of a pop, but still being pretty neutral and blendy in. So compared to the main color. So I have 5845 Dazzling Blue, obviously very bright blue, which I'm now thinking I had Dazzling Blue. I didn't need to buy this, but that's okay. 2511, which I believe is almond or marzipan, but I think this This to me looks like almond. 3521. Is this a petite knit colorway? This is a petite knit colorway, so I'm assuming this is ballet slippers or tutu something. I can't remember off the top of my head. This is a petite knit color also, so this is almond. And then my final color I have is 2544, which is this really nice caramely brown color. And this is not a petite knit colorway, so it's just this brown, like medium mid-tone brown color. And I think all of them together look very nice. So I'm going to knit up a swatch and see how I feel about it, but I think I like this color palette. I'm sorry that my sweatshirt is so dark so you can't see everything, but I'm also not good at holding. There we go. So that's my color palette. Like I said, I wanted something with like a bit of a pop, kind of like Lily from Curatorial Knits podcast. I did like Petite Knits, like fun pops of colors in her one that's made mostly the main color is brown with like the little bit of purple, but I'm not a purple girl really, so I went with this, which I think is more my color palette. This blue isn't really my best shade, I would say, but I think these three are, and I wanted something that was a little bit brighter with within the color work, so I think I'll use this as like the color that's in the color work the most, and then kind of slot these in where I can. And I think that there is enough contrast between the almond and the pink that I could have them next to each other, but I may try and break them up so that it's more dazzling blue with almond and then the brown with the pink. But I do think that is like a really pretty color palette. When we were at the yarn store, the first color Shiv picked out was like a light blue when he was trying to help me pick out colors, but with this color palette, it was giving gender reveal. And I am not with child, so we did not go for that. I said I wanted something poppier, like a brighter pop of color, and I didn't really want like a hot pink or an orange, so we went with bright blue instead, and we have some nice subtle colors to go with it. So I probably will swatch for that in the next few days as well, just to kind of get used to it. And maybe I will bring it with me to Switzerland, or not Switzerland, not very Switzerland. Maybe I will bring it with me to London and France. Probably not, but there's a chance. We'll see how far I get through everything else, what I wound up packing. But that is all I have to report on today for Vlogmas. I'm going to go wash my face, deal with all the breakouts on it, and get to maybe winding up this yarn for Shiv, or moving my cuff for sock number 2. So I will talk to you all tomorrow. I'm so excited to be recording Vlogmas again this year. I'm really hoping and anticipating positively that I will film every single day for the next 25 days. Hopefully. If not, maybe like a day or two break here and there, but I feel like once I get to like 3 days without filming, it's tough to get back into it. And same with like watching. I know watching, like once you miss a few days, you're like, oh, I've missed too much. So maybe I will try and like jam like a week of videos together as well, in case anyone misses a day or they want to watch something like a little bit longer. I think last year majority of my Vlogmases wound up being about 8 to 10 minutes. So if you want to watch a little bit of a longer video, I'll try and put my weeklies together so that at least that's something longer to watch than a few minutes. And I will talk to you all tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know if you'd like to see anything specific over Vlogmas, and subscribe and like the video if you liked it, just so you get notifications about when I post. I'm gonna try and post videos at the same time every day and schedule them for the next day so that there's no spoilers or anything like that. But yeah, feel free to leave me a comment, and I'm so excited that it's finally officially Christmas time. See you tomorrow. Bye.